Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in with me, Gloria Selinda. I'm very excited to be with you once more as we continue to reflect on the topic of true personal identity. Today, our reflection is on the dangers of comfort. Being too comfortable means that you are not willing to change. There are various reasons that we get comfortable as human beings. When one is very familiar with a specific state in life, they do not see a need for change. And there is a saying that change is constant. And that is an invitation for us to continuously look for ways to better ourselves as human beings. And this is in anything in life, whether it is in your career, whether it is in family, in your marriage, with your kids, with yourself as an individual. When one becomes very comfortable in a specific state, they are limiting their own potential. They are hindering their own growth as a person. And when you are comfortable in a specific state, it means that you might miss certain opportunities in life because you were not willing to stretch yourself and you remained stagnant. Why do people remain comfortable? Why do people refuse to change? Or the reason that people remain in a comfort zone because it is easy, it is familiar, it is something that is manageable. One has gone through experiences. There's a concept of tried and tested. There is also a saying that says, if it isn't broken, do not change it. But in the day and age that we live in, it is no longer true. There is always an opportunity for change. There is always an opportunity for growth. There is always an opportunity for improvement, even in the smallest things. So to be in a state of comfort does not serve us. There is a saying that translates to, it is better to deal with what you know. And a lot of people will remain in the positions that they are in because they know how to deal with it. Another reason for remaining in a comfort zone is fear. Fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of failure. Fear can either push you to a change because you are threatened by staying in the same state that you are at, or it can keep you back because you are afraid of starting something new. You are afraid of shaking up your state at the time. You are afraid of what you do not know. Fear can help you, but fear can also prohibit you from growing. How does this relate to our true personal identities? Remember, living in your true personal identity is a journey. Your true personal identity is who you are as a person. Who we are is not necessarily always what we have known ourselves to be. Who you are is not necessarily what other people are calling you to be. Who you are, especially when you are a child of God, somebody who believes in Jesus Christ, there is more to you than you know. However, when you find yourself in a comfort zone, you are restricted and you are limiting yourself from finding out more about your true personal identity, about even your potential, about the power that you have, especially as a believer in Jesus Christ, about the authority that you have as a child of God. When you are in your comfort zone, you may be comfortable in doing things that are not aligned to what God has called you to be. You may be comfortable in sin because it is easy, it's something you are used to. And that robs you of living in your true identity as a child of God, as an ambassador for Christ. When you are living in your comfort zone, your habits will remain the same. And your habits inform your behavior, they inform your character, they inform how you show up, they inform how other people see you. So if how you are today is exactly how you were a year ago, 6 months ago, 10 years ago, then the question is, are you at your best as a person? Being in a comfort zone means that you are not willing to learn. And life is about learning. Life is about reflecting and deciding for yourself what it is that you are going to do differently to become a better you. Before I carry on, I do want to pause and appreciate all of you who continue tuning in. Thank you to each and every one of you who has subscribed to the channel. And for you who hasn't subscribed as yet, please click the subscribe button, and I urge you to please share the link with others so that we can learn and grow together. There is a story in the Bible in the book of Genesis chapter 12. I want to read verse 1 and then skip to verse 4. This is the story of Abram, who later became Abraham, and God instructing him to leave. And it reads as follows. I'm reading from the New King James Version. Now the Lord had said to Abram, "Get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land that I will show you." Verse 4 says, "So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran." Abram was 75 years old when he received an instruction from God to leave his country. Yes, there were promises of blessings from God. Maybe that was the motivation for him to leave. But we also have learned that Abram was the man of faith. He trusted God, and he knew that God will honor his word in his life. But if you put yourself in the shoes of Abraham, some of the things that prevent us from changing is because we have been in a specific state for such a long time that we don't see it necessary anymore to change. In those days, they lived for hundreds of years. So Abraham, being 75 years old, probably was not intimidating for him to start a new chapter in life. But he could have also said, "I'm too old to be living. I'm used to what I am doing and how I am doing things where I am." People justify remaining in certain states in their lives because they deem themselves as too old. Sometimes they deem themselves as too young for certain changes. But age should not restrict you from moving out of a specific state in your life for something better. Other people remain in a comfort zone because they're afraid that when they step out of the state that they are in, they will not necessarily have the support that they require wherever they are going to be. That also shouldn't stop you from changing your life for better. Remember that your true personal identity is your own, and the reason we want to live in our true personal identities is because we want to live an authentic life. We want to live a life where we are free to make choices without the need to please other people, without the need to highly depend on other people. Here is a challenge for you and a call to action. There is always going to be a very good reason not to change, especially if you believe that something is working for you. But ask yourself this: even if something you see now is working, is it still going to be working for you in the next few months, in the next 5 years? Are you enabled by whatever state to live in your true self, to live as your authentic self? How much agency do you have in your life? Are you living in the best way that you could be in all areas of your life? You could think about it from a spiritual aspect, your faith aspect, from your career, from your family, from yourself as an individual, from relationships that you value, your studies, how you manage your finances, and so forth. So think about this holistically. As a person, are you living in the best state that you could be? Have you become too comfortable that change is not even a question for you? Have you become so fearful of change that you are not willing to try anything? So the call to action is reflect on these questions for yourself, and if anything at all talks to you about where you are finding yourself, now is an opportunity for you to do something different. Change can be uncomfortable, change can be very difficult. Change, by its nature, stretches you as an individual, And that's what helps you grow as you step out of your comfort zone, because as you get stretched, there are new lessons, skills that you acquire, and you become a better person. And remember that change does not have to be a huge leap. There is a book by James Clear that talks about atomic habits. You can start small, and as you start small, you see small shifts. They encourage you to do more and more in your life. One of the things that is problematic about remaining in a comfort zone is that later on one starts regretting why they didn't make the move, why they didn't change, why they didn't try. So, as you reflect on the call to action and how it applies to you, think about that. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.